Hello everyone and welcome. In the last video we talked about taking exhaust mid, a useful tactic that I would recommend to try if you like to play mid. In this video we are getting a little bit more serious, as today we are talking about team comps. This is a video which is useful for every player, not just a mid laner or jungler or any specific type of champion, but every single player. Before we start, I should explain this. In this video we are talking about team comps in general, and later I will talk about different kind of team comps. So let's get started. There are a few things you have to think about when picking a champion. 1. What does your team need? Your team needs a few things. One or multiple tanks, AP damage, some CC or engage, a good amount of damage in general. The list goes on and on, but these are the first things you should consider. So what can you do about this? Well, it depends on your position. Top can take an AD or AP damage dealer, a tank, and can provide CC or something to engage. The same with jungle. Mid is a little bit different, as it can only have AP or AD damage and CC or engage, but not a tank. AD carry doesn't have a lot of choice, as it should always be an AD damage dealer, but it has possibility to have a CC or engage. Think about Ashe or Sivir. Support is different from the others, because it can't have a damage dealer, although there are some exceptions, like a brand support. A support will never do the same amount of damage as a mid or top laner, because he doesn't farm and builds different items. Therefore, you should never rely on your support to deal damage, but a support can be a tank or have CC or engage. So, when your mid laner does AD damage, the top laner or jungler should consider picking an AD damage dealer. The Yasuo gameplay you are seeing right now is a great example for this. Yasuo can be played top, jungle, mid and even support. Yasuo top or jungle isn't a tank, but does deal a lot of damage. If you play Yasuo mid, then it's no problem that it isn't a tank, but your team doesn't have an AP mid laner, so top or jungle should be an AP damage dealer. Yasuo support is the worst. I don't want to offend any Yasuo support players, but you have to look at the facts, and if you prove me wrong, then okay. I just don't think it's worth it picking it over all of the strong supports out there. Although he does a lot of damage in lane, it is not a great laner, so he's not a damage dealer. Again, this is because he doesn't farm or gets a lot of kills, so he doesn't get a lot of gold to be strong in the mid game. He won't be strong until everyone is full build, when it's probably too late. He's not a tank, and his only CC is a skill shot, for which you have to hit your Q 2 times before you can use it. So basically, if this was a normal game, it would always have been a loss according to step 1. Although I didn't talk about Yasuo AD carry, maybe he could have saved the game. The second thing you need to think about is what do I need to defeat the enemy team. I do not recommend to always counterpick, but in some situations you have to think about it. For example, if the enemy team has one or multiple assassins, you should not pick a lot of low HP or low mobility champions. Having multiple tanks that won't get killed easily and can protect the damage dealers would be a good choice in this situation. Because this is blind pick, it doesn't really apply to the game, but in a normal game this is important. Take for example Yasuo. He has really high mobility, so it's great against a champion like Lux, but if you get stunned you will probably die, so if the enemy team has a lot of CC, you shouldn't pick him. The next thing you need to think about is that some champions can work together. So you could take a look at the other champions in your team and look for good combos. Again, Yasuo is a great example. Yasuo's R needs a knockup. Although he can do it himself, that is kind of hard and it might only knock up 1 or 2 enemies. So a little help from his team would be great. In this situation you could pick a lot. Nautilus and Malphite top, Zac jungle, Alistar and Lulu support. This might not seem very important, but if Yasuo can hit 4 or 5 enemies instead of 1 or 2, it can make a big difference. The last thing you should think about is by far the most important. Which champion can I play? If you don't have any experience on a champion, it is probably a bad idea to play it in dynamic queue, even if that means your team doesn't have a tank or an AP damage dealer. It would be a good idea to tell your team in time so that someone else can provide it. If this game was a normal game, I would have made a big mistake, because I picked a champion that I never played before, and I would have played a lot better if I would have played a champion that I did know. This is all for today. We are slowly getting a little bit more serious, and the next video will also be about some important subjects. But after that we will probably make some less serious videos. You can of course leave all of your thoughts about the video in the comments, and if you liked the video please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.